My first question will be about stress. What does a normal person need to know about stress?
So stress, of course, is one of the major factors that impact our health as we grow older, especially. So I think young people are aware of the fact that they need to avoid stress in a very crazy amount. But I think as you grow older, you become more susceptible to it. So I think we need to adapt, and we do see that shift, in a working population. So people tend to work hard when they're younger, and then they look towards retirement where they can, have less stress.
Yeah, so here in Romania, did you read the studies about stress? How do we compare, for example, to Japan, where their working culture is pretty hardcore?
You're absolutely right. So the Japanese, they do have a specific term for dying out of stress. And this is something that's completely unheard of over here. But I think we shouldn't underestimate the fact that in Europe, people work very hard. So when you look at international numbers in terms of the hours at work, then we're actually not very low on that scale. Also, of course, there is a question of how you work. So we just had a lady there on stage that talked about that work should be like holiday. And I think maybe that's specific to her company in UAE.
Yeah.
But it's a fact that we grow up, people especially, I think, from the generation growing up in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, they have a very good work ethic, and they were told that they need to work very hard. And I think we have to reevaluate that and look towards ways of working in a way that you are still productive, but at the same time can stay healthy, because we need to work longer, right? So I think most of us younger people are expecting to do so. And in order to be able to do so, you need to stay healthy.
So you're talking about the new generation, but we already have a generation which went through communism, and now people are making this change to multinational companies and, of course, corporate offices and such. So I think maybe this change was a little bit abrupt, maybe in 10 years or 15 years from communism to the free market. The stress piled on older people which are now in their 50s, 60s, and I think they suffer from stress, from this shock.
No, absolutely, you're right. So the problem here is that, of course, as I said before, as you grow older, it's not going to be more easy for you to cope with stress. I mean, it would be wrong to assume that young people can simply work under stress and there are no consequences. But of course, as you grow older, you have to listen to your body. And it's very important to combine, these many factors that really are associated with health. There is, of course, the mental health that you need to be aware of, and your body. And I think stress affects all of them, and especially for the older working population. So me personally, my background is longevity science, where we look into really the factors that address longevity. And of course, there is medical longevity intervention, but what we know from clinical science is that actually lifestyle intervention is probably the most impactful tool that we have right now. So having a good working environment, having, of course, a good private life, being part of social interactions, I think this is important because this allows us the opportunity to unwind, to have something that sets off that stress that you experience in your work environment.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.